Welcome to the weekend edition of the Fast Five by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer and hello Adam Lang.
Good morning, Sean.
On weekdays, it's all about the Fast Five, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. On the weekend, though, we're still going to keep it to 5 minutes, but we're going to pick out the biggest story of the week, our favourite story, the sleeper story, the one that tends to fly under the radar, and most remarkable stories. So let's get into it. Adam, what's your biggest story of the week?
Sean, for me, it's the election, and campaigning, as always, becomes a crucible of different stories as politicians lobby for our nation's votes. And that crucible for me included Anzac Day, end of school holidays, Anthony Albanese in and out of COVID, frontbench teams stepping up alongside their leaders, green energy arm wrestles, a record inflation figure on Wednesday stoking the flames of cost of living pressures, and the Solomon Islands China Security Pact all played out, and it dominated television, radio, web pages and podcast soundwaves all week. Politics is a very brutal game, and clearly our nation gobbles it up as the biggest story of the week.
Yeah, big story. Look, I'm actually going to pick one aspect of that, and that was inflation figures this week. For the 3 months to the end of March, the annual inflation rate was 5.1%. Not since the GST added 10% to prices back in 2000 have we seen such a jump. Underlying inflation is running at 3.7%. Both are well above the Reserve Bank's target range. What's it all mean? Rates are rising on Tuesday, and if it's not this Tuesday, it's next month. Big story.
Massive.
Okay, Adam, I'm going to jump in and tell you what I think the most remarkable story is. I think it's the fact that James Packer is giving up on Crown. There was a story this week that Mr. Packer will vote his 37% stake in the gaming giant for the takeover by Blackstone. Mr. Packer's been involved in Crown for 20 years. In many ways, it's his legacy. His father, Kerry, was about TV. He's about gaming. Now, James Packer has fought tooth and nail for the 72-storey Barangaroo hotel, restaurant and apartment complex in Sydney, which really has already become a landmark for the city. Hasn't got a gaming licence yet, but it will. Mr. Packer's been forced to sell down his stake in Crown following several state inquiries, but I still think it's remarkable he's going without a fight.
Sean, he's such a massive business figure. I think it is remarkable.
Okay, let's go to the sleeper story. Adam, lead us off.
So this one's about the US $2 trillion cryptocurrency market. 2 weeks ago, the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority set out guidelines for monitoring the market. And this week, you reported it, Sean, the government's financial intelligence agency, AUSTRAC, issued banks and digital currency exchanges with a financial crime guide to enhance due diligence on cryptocurrency assets. Now, because cryptos are generally anonymous and borderless, they are ripe to facilitate serious crime, and that's what AUSTRAC is concerned about. Anonymous and borderless cryptocurrencies, Australian regulation increasing. Watch for this sleeper story growing further and further into international territory in the months ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to hear about that not just a month, but the years ahead. Big story.
I think you're right.
Look, the sleeper story for me is the one about how many people cheat on their home loan applications. More than a third do so. According to the 7th Australian Mortgage Survey from UBS, ANZ borrowers seem to do it more than anyone else. But it is pretty much across the board. Why is it a sleeper? Well, firstly, so many people do it. That surprised me. But also, bad debts are a killer for banks who make money lending to people. It hasn't been such a problem in recent years with low and falling interest rates. But as the cycle turns and rates rise and people have paid all this money to buy houses over the last year or two, people who cheated on their home loan applications might just find themselves in trouble financing their loans. And that's really bad news for banks, because if bad loans increase, bank profits decrease.
Sean, cheating, misstatements, the scale of it is what really surprised me.
Yeah, totally. Okay, one more. Favourite story. Adam, lead us off. What's your favourite story for the week?
All right, I love this. Elon toying with Twitter, and who doesn't love a story about our favourite eccentric multi-billionaire Elon Musk? The richest man in the world kicks this story off with a 9% stake in Twitter. Then he drops some cryptic hints to his 80 million Twitter followers, and then launched a full bid for the company. So some thought the SpaceX Avenger was joking, but nope, he was just getting started. And 1 week ago, we learned that Elon Musk secured funding worth US $46 billion in his quest to take over the 16-year-old Twitter completely. Now, the spectator sport that is Elon Musk has turned the focus onto what on earth will he do with Twitter as a forceful advocate of free speech, and how will he manage Tesla investor concerns on their declining share price? What a spectacle.
Absolutely. That is my favourite story of the week too. It's a cracker. There we go. 5 minutes and pretty much everything you need to know in the world of business. Thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you, Sean.
We'll be back on Monday morning with the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer, and this is the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed.